model
like...
is so good.
What the f*** was that? What the f*** was that? Chat.
That was the Stalker. And the very loud sound, that was his sledgehammer.
The thing is that he had to know she was streaming too. Like, he's a mega super stalker. Like, he's specifically doing that while she's streaming, like almost certainly on purpose.
We finished talking to the officer. Considering the person only ever interacted was when I was live makes him believe it was a stalker. He also said the guy kept repeating, "She's my friend, it's okay."
When you show up to your friend's house unannounced with a sledgehammer, you know how you do that with your homies, with your buds, with your besties? It's so relatable. This is like me for real. Subscribe!
In 2009, the US Department of Justice released this special report titled Stalking Victimization in the United States, in which during a 12-month period, they found that an estimated 3.4 million people aged 18 or older were victims of stalking. The CDC in 2022 then released a study that they conducted from 2016 to 2017 about the same topic. They claim that over 13.5 million people got stalked in that one-year duration. That includes both male and female, as well as minors. This study helped show that stalking was a growing and very concerning problem, and it wasn't stopping anytime soon.
I want to make a point about this. I don't know if Mugen is going to make it, but I want to make the point anyway, because I think it's really important to understand about why stalking happens so much, especially in the US, is basically it is almost impossible to get any sort of recourse or action by the police, by authorities in the US for stalkers. Because they basically will do nothing unless you have been very specifically threatened physically or something has already happened. So essentially, as long as stalkers stay in a very particular line of legality, they will not be bothered by the authorities. The authorities will tell you to make a report and do nothing about it. And that's part of why it is so incredibly difficult in the US to do anything about it. That's why it's really common. And that's why it's really frustrating and terrifying. Is because a lot of times the police are basically just be like, well, you have to wait until it's too late for us to do anything. We'll do something after you get severely hurt or injured or die. But before then, we're doing absolutely nothing about it, which is just so, it's terrifying, you know. But that's why it's so, it's really difficult in the US. It's why it happens a lot. And it's also like, a restraining order doesn't do much either. A restraining order only does something if that person cares about the law. If they don't care about the law, they're just going to break the restraining order. And that's not necessarily going to keep you safe. And so like there's not a lot of recourse for these things. And it's really sad and horrible when you hear somebody talk about it. And I just wanted to say that first is like, it is so hard to get rid of a stalker because the reality is that they're unwell and the legal system is not attuned to actually doing anything about it at all.
Now, according to the United States Department of Justice, stalking is classified as a crime in all 50 states in the United States.
That it is.
And while the definition of stalking is well laid out here, saying that it generally involves repeated visual or physical proximity, non-consensual communication, and verbal, written, or implied threats, the process for a victim to prosecute their aggressor is extremely vague, very hard, and very expensive.
Yes.
And the worst part is, even after you prosecute, the results will be way less than satisfactory. And that grim reality isn't just for the average normal person. A good example of that is what happened with Ariana Grande and an absolute crazy unhinged stalker. He had made nearly 100 visits to her mansion and even brought a deadly weapon on one occasion. This was all after she had placed a restraining order on him. Just think about this for a second, okay? Almost 100 visits under a restraining order. That's insane. On January 2024, very recently, he got put in a state prison for 3 years and 8 months. And unfortunately, it's not too hard to guess what he's going to do as soon as he gets out of state prison in 2027. That's the reality of...
And the thing is he's going to have all those years. I mean, maybe he gets better, right? Maybe the prison system in the US... Maybe the US prison system will not fail this specific individual and will truly rehabilitate him because it's known for being very good for that. But really, what's most likely to happen is he's going to stay in there for 3 years, festering in his obsession for Ariana Grande and be worse or be just as bad. That's the reality of it.
having to deal with a stalker. And unfortunately for the VTuber Camila, this is a reality she had to live through very recently. You see, not only was there a stalker she had no idea about that was after her, but as she was streaming, he had showed up to her house with a sledgehammer and tried to destroy her bedroom window. She had to run to her mother, and they had to hide until the police came to her house. Make no mistake, this is a nightmare scenario. But how could a VTuber so conscious about privacy, so careful with her personal information, get a stalker that found her address?
That's the like, oh, dude, it just like, it actually sends chills down my spine to think about this. It's just so terrifying to think about. And I've like been to a convention before, but I also didn't actually ever announce that when I was there. I only said that I had been there after I was there because I just didn't really want to be hunted down or anything. I really value my privacy for a lot of reasons. You guys know, like, I say this sometimes and I don't really like to talk about it, but I am like an international criminal. I am on, the FBI watch list. Like, I've done a lot of really awful stuff. I love doing treason and various terrible felonies and crimes and things that are worse than felonies. So it's like, I can't really show my face and I don't really want it to be known where I am for obvious reasons. But yeah, it's just terrifying. And like, my heart like hurts for having to deal with something like that. I don't even know how I would like handle something like that. It's just awful. It's awful.
Well, it turns out that he used a tracking device in one of the most unexpected and dirtiest ways possible.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. I love good character designs. Oh my God.
So much.
This one goes out to my female viewers. But you know what I love even more? Thank you so much, Ash Echoes, for sponsoring this video. So as I mentioned, Camila is a VTuber. She started gaining a lot.
Okay, and I believe like I actually am gonna let him get into it because I know parts of the story, but I want to let him tell the story because it's Muujin's video.
Of traction back in 2022 and has been streaming ever since. And today she is well known among the VTubing sphere, being part of.
Every time I see her username on Twitter, I think it says "cumlick," and I'm so sorry. I know this is so out of like random, so off topic. But every single time I see her like on Twitter, I think it says "cumlick," and I always have to look at it funny for a bit.
A larger friend group that has some of the most successful VTubers in the industry. Now look, people become VTubers mostly for two reasons. The first one is privacy. You don't have to show your real face at all, and yet you can still show expressions to your audience watching you. That's why many VTubers are very reluctant to share personal information, because they value their privacy. The second reason can be more attributed to the fact that it's just cooler to not be yourself. This can be seen in the fact that many VTubers have lore or a backstory. Like, oh my god, look, this VTuber is a descendant of like some ancient dragon or something. Or, oh my god, look, no wonder she farts so much. She's the reincarnation of the goddess of farts. Or something. I don't know. That's usually how VTuber backstories go. But while VTuber...
See, it's a privacy thing for me for sure. It's also just like, wearing pants. I don't know. However, I will say one thing I've gotten on some of my videos where I touch on content creators that are really outside of the VTuber sphere is like, oh, well, you're tricking your audience by pretending to be someone you're not. And it's like, hey guys, I don't think any of you guys are all that convinced that I'm a bat anime girl. I don't think any of you guys are very convinced. I don't have very good immersion. I don't really play a character either. Like, I definitely have like the entertainer persona, I'm definitely turned on when I'm on stream. That was crazy. That was crazy. I just said I was bricked up while I was streaming. That's insane. What I mean is that like I have like the entertainer persona on when I'm streaming, it's like Hex Plus, Hex Premium. But like this is me in the way that I am normally. I'm like this with my friends also. Any of my mods can tell you it's really not that different. It's really not that different from how I am all the time. This is my real voice. A lot of people be like, why do you sound like that? You sound so annoying. And it's like, I don't think you've ever talked to a woman before. Sorry. But yeah, this is me. But yeah, apparently I'm bricked up when I'm streaming, which is crazy. Okay.
Do value privacy a lot. It doesn't mean that it's all cut and dry. This is where things get tricky. Fan meetups. There's a lot of fans out there that are interested in meeting.
I'm so sorry. I will never do this. Like, I never really wanted to in the first place, but after this Camila, I'm like, so sorry, we're never meeting. Like I will never meet any of you. I don't want to shake your hand. I don't want to give you a Christian side hug. I'm so good. I'm so good. Like, I love my audience, and I love, like, I so appreciative of all of you, and you're so poggers. Like, I never want to meet any of you after this. Like, especially after this, but in general, I'm so good. I'm
their
so
favorite
good.
VTuber. But how does a VTuber so centric on privacy meet up with their fans? Well, there's two ways, okay? And the first one is fairly creative. It involves the fan
I would do
meeting
this. This specifically, I would consider, where it's like the little like avatar thing where you're on an iPad. This I would do. Would I do the like actual fan meetups where I just meet a mask and I actually physically shake your hand? Absolutely no, never. I will never do them.
Well, with the VTuber, right? As you can see, there's a camera right here, so the VTuber can see the fan reacting and interacting, and the fan, just like when they're watching the streams, can see the VTuber reacting as well to everything going on. Now, obviously, this isn't everyone's cup of tea, and I would say like only the biggest VTuber fans would be into this kind of stuff, but hey, it's something for someone who's so privacy-centric, or for someone who literally cannot make it due to health reasons like Iron Mouse. The second way...
I cannot make it due to health reasons, and by that I mean I have agoraphobia, and I don't like going outside. And I'm a little bit of a hermit, and I like being in my house.
Though, is saying, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the convention anyway. And that's actually what a lot of VTubers end up doing, especially for TwitchCon, because not only do they get to meet their fans, they also get to meet their fellow streamer friends.
Yeah.
They'll typically wear a mask so that they hide most of their facial features if someone else is streaming or taking a picture they're not aware of. And in pictures they're aware of being in, they'll still blur their face or add an emoji censoring it or whatever. Camila actually falls in that category. She would rather go to the convention to see her fans face to face, hug them, interact with them, talk to them, than to see them from a screen. She has many stories of how she would hug fans, for example, and they'd be shaking from excitement, or how she would receive some of the cutest handmade gifts in person. But unfortunately for her, it was one of those fan interactions that ruined everything. That was the day where she had no idea that she had met her stalker and that he had placed a tracking device on something that she could have never imagined. The stalker would bide his time and he wouldn't strike immediately. It was only on November 2nd, 2024, while she was streaming, that he decided to make his move and completely impede on her privacy.
The thing is that he had to know she was streaming too. Like, he's a mega super stalker, right? Like a super fan, essentially. Like, to an obviously an insane degree, but like he's like a super fan. He knows that she's streaming too. Like, he's specifically doing that while she's streaming, like almost certainly on purpose.
This is the moment where it all happened. Watch.
Lena's is so cute too. Oh my god,
I
look
love
at her
that
little
model.
like.
It's so good.
What the f was that? What the f was that? Chat. What the f? Hold on, hold on.
That was the stalker. And the very loud sound, that was his sledgehammer. After she got up and muted the microphone to check up on the noise, the stream suddenly ended. Now obviously everyone was extremely worried. This is when she would tweet out an update saying this. Someone during the evil stream yesterday knocked on my window and then went away, so I assumed it was nothing, but turns out it wasn't nothing because someone tried breaking into my home during my stream just now. So the day before, she was collabing with another...
Dude, that's like, I'm literally the chills. It's just so awful, dude. That's so like, there's no like intelligent commentary to have there. I just can't even imagine how genuinely terrifying that is.
Streamer. She wasn't actually streaming herself. She heard a knock on the window and she assumed it was nothing because she looked at her camera feed and saw that there was no one there. But no, as she saw the next day, someone was there and they had a sledgehammer. Now look at this. Someone replied with, "I'm so sorry that happened. Install extra locks and have extra cameras around the house really helped me after we got broken in ourselves. Hope this would never happen again to you." Camila replies with, "We have every defense mechanism you can think of. Motion detectors, strong windows, really loud alarms, panic button, and weapons. Just unfortunate still." So she was well prepared, right? And yet the stalker still caught her off guard. That's how it works. You can prepare for the worst all you want, but when it happens, it's not going to make it any less shocking. It's a very rough reality. She then tweeted this: "The cops have already dealt with him. We are okay. W to the panic button on my desk." So now the cops were involved.
Smart.
Then she said this: "We finished talking to the officer. Considering the person only ever interacted was when I was live makes him believe it was a stalker. He also said the guy kept repeating, "She's my friend, it's okay." So it seems that when a
dude, like, I don't even like, dude. She's my friend, it's
stalker is caught, he'll always go for the excuse, "Oh no, don't worry, she's just a friend." But buddy, you showed up with a sledgehammer. What are you talking about, a friend? Get the hell.
You know, when you show up to your friend's house unannounced with a sledgehammer, you know how you do that with your homies, with your buds, with your besties? It's so relatable. This is like me for real.
Out of here. You have a sledgehammer and tried to break her window, you idiot. Oh my god. The biggest shock came a couple of days later when she tweeted out a crazy revelation saying, "So, hey VTubers, make sure you guys are checking convention gifts for tracking devices before taking them home with you, or you too could end up just like me." Some more info from the police to answer more.
Was it a air tag? I think air tags are so genuinely dangerous. Like, I cannot tell you how many stories I've heard specifically about how air tags help people get stalked. It's so bad because they're so small and so difficult to find. And if you don't have an iPhone, nothing is going to tell you that you have an air tag on you. It's awful.
Questions. He is arrested. He admitted to planting a device in a gift he gave me. I will share more about what exactly happened on stream. A family member will be escorted with an officer into the house at some point to give my giant container of gifts to give to the police. I am not home and I do not plan on returning home for a little. I have acquired a temporary pewter to stream for the time being. So yeah, crazy bombshell, right?
Awful.
A tracking device in a gift that she was given in a convention, something she thought was heartwarming, ended up being her worst nightmare. This made a huge impact in the VTubing scene, and now everyone will be very, very careful on what they end up accepting at conventions, which is unfortunate, right? But
honestly, at that point, the policy is, unless it is a completely flat, like, piece of paper type, you're not accepting nothing. Because the assumption usually, if something were to happen, my assumption would almost always be that there was some kind of, like, data leak or data breach or something like that she accidentally leaked something, that she was doxxed, whatever. At that point, I'm not accepting all. Unless it is a flat piece of paper in an envelope, I'm not accepting all. I'm not accepting nothing. Like, that's way too, like, that's so scary. Because now the thing is about it is, like, it is a good thing as a public service for her to say that this happened. However, the thing is it gives people ideas, no? That's kind of the problem, is, like, it gives people ideas about how they can more effectively stalk their Oshis and shit like that. And so it's more likely to happen again. And I'm not saying she shouldn't have said anything. I'm just saying that people are f***ed up, and when they hear a good way to be f***ed up effectively, then they're just going to do it. It's so gross.
It takes is one terrible person to ruin a good thing for everyone. That's exactly what just happened here. Camila then went live from a different location to tell her community about what exactly happened and update them on the situation. She said that the stalker showed up with a sledgehammer, tried to break into her house. She then pressed the panic button on her desk, which notifies the police, and went into hiding with her mother. They hid in a room and they had a weapon. She had a gun, and yet they were still terrified. The cops showed up after 10 minutes, arrested the stalker, and spoke to her briefly because she was packing her bags and telling her family that they have to leave. She gave her number to the officer and he updated her. The stalker had admitted to putting a tracking device into one of her gifts. She said that while it breaks her heart, she's not going to be able to accept any gifts moving forward. She's also not going to do any fan meetups moving forward as well. At some point, she also broke down crying because this home meant a lot to her. She had built it from the ground up with her family and it was their dream home, and now it's ruined. She doesn't know if the stalker told his friends about her address or if that's the only gift with a tracker. She can never feel safe there again. And even though it's her and her family's dream home, she has to move now, and she's not going to say where. She was open about living in the...
That is so devastating, dude. The panic button is so smart. I'm like, how do I get a panic button? How do I get one of those? Because, like, that's so smart. And thank God she had that, you know? I would be devastated. I don't know. I feel like, honestly, I don't know. I don't even know how I would keep making content after something like that. That's just so awful.
State of Arizona, but she's not even going to reveal the state she's moving to, which is, of course, a good thing. She shouldn't.
Yeah.
But what's really weird here is that in the beginning of that stream where she was explaining all the details of the break-in, while talking, her phone all of a sudden started revealing her location unprompted. She screamed so that no one could hear it. It's going to be pretty loud, so brace, but watch.
Bracing.
So I encourage any other streamer and VTuber to please invest in that kind of stuff. If you have the money, it's very worth it.
I mean, she clutched the up on that one, though. Let's be real. She clutched the up on that one. Good for her. That was smart. That's so smart. She up because I didn't hear a single thing.
Why did my iPhone just try to read out my location? What the What the Oh my god! What the Why did you do that phone?
So look, I have an iPhone. Sometimes when I say the word seriously, Siri just starts yapping to me for no reason. But this is obviously ridiculous, right? For Siri to just straight up say her location, her new location, the one she went to after.
Well, it's like, what do you even say to your iPhone to make it say that? I'm gonna mute 1 second. I'm gonna mute. Yeah, I don't know. I straight up asked that where I live and like where I am. And it didn't, like, I don't even know like what you would say to that to make it say that. You know, that's the thing. Also, what I just learned is don't let Siri have access to your location, because that does not know where you are if you don't. It'll tell you where you live if it's something that you've put into your iPhone, but do not give access to Siri to look at where you are located. Turn off your location services to Siri, and you can avoid that happening if you're a VTuber. There you go. I just saw that, because if I say, I tried to say, like, where am I right now? It couldn't tell me because I hadn't activated location services for it. So, hey, that's kind of nice to know. Yeah, because I tried to say, like, where am I right now? And it couldn't find it. But, like, even when I asked, like, what is my address? It just put it on screen. It didn't read it out loud. So I don't even know what you would say to see what Siri would have thought you had said to say that. Like, that's crazy.
After leaving her home, that's crazy. Now, some people have commented that some trackers can break into smartphones and act as another form of a tracker via Wi-Fi or hotspot and can activate Siri for the iPhone. This person commenting had their ex do that to them with a broken AirTag by a virus. So first off, that's really creepy. I had no idea someone could do that. And second, I really hope that's not what's happening to Camila right now, but it sure as hell is very weird for the iPhone to act up like this. But one thing is for certain, Camila has been scarred for life now, and there are still many questions we don't have answers to. Like, did the stalker tell anyone else about her address, about what he's about to do? How many other VTubers are victims of this without knowing it? Actually, you know what? I don't want answers to these questions because they'll just creep me out even more. Yeah. I just hope that she can stay safe and that the move to a different place won't be too hard. It really sucks that she had to give up her family dream home just because of one creep though. And I hope that he gets the consequences that he deserves. Guys, please be safe out there, okay? And I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is. Love you so much. Mwah.
Thank you, Muujin. As always, we all collectively say, thank you, Muujin, for the content. Yeah, I hate AirTags. Like, I hate them. I hate Apple AirTags. I think they are legitimately dangerous. The way that they work has been... I've seen more stories of people using AirTags for stalkers than ever using them appropriately for AirTag reasons. I hate them. The way that they work is legitimately dangerous, and this is a great example of why. It's really sad for Camila to have dealt with that. This is what it is to be a VTuber, unfortunately. You have to be safe. And honestly, any VTubers, if you're watching, maybe don't take presents anymore or do some type of like giving it to a police station to look through, x-ray machines. But honestly, at that point, just don't take anything. Just don't take presents because people are weird like that. But yeah, that is the video. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and subscribe if you like the content. I'm trying to get to 50K before the end of the year, so it helps me out a lot. Go support Muujin as well. He's a fantastic content creator who I like a whole lot. He's a very sweet dude too. And I'll see you guys next time. Love yourselves, drink water, stay safe, and wash your body with a washcloth, not just your hand. I'll see y'all later. Bye!